Welcome to Banff, a breathtaking alpine wonderland nestled in the heart of the Canadian Rockies. I'm Arista, and today we're transporting you to this extraordinary mountain sanctuary where glacier-fed lakes of impossible blue rest beneath towering peaks that have shaped both the landscape and human experience for millennia. Established in 1885 as Canada's first national park, Banff represents one of North America's boldest conservation stories, a visionary effort to protect these majestic mountains for the benefit of all. From the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples to the arrival of railway surveyors who discovered natural hot springs, from luxury mountain resorts to world-class skiing destinations, Banff has evolved while maintaining the perfect balance between preservation and access. Today, this UNESCO World Heritage Site welcomes millions who come to experience the restorative power of wilderness in its most spectacular form. Our journey begins with the natural phenomenon that first drew attention to this remarkable region. The Banff Hot Springs emerge from deep within Sulphur Mountain at a steamy 116 degrees Fahrenheit, their mineral-rich waters heated by geothermal energy. These springs have a long history of human use, beginning with Indigenous peoples who considered them sacred places of healing. In 1883, railway workers William McCardle, Frank McCabe, and Tom Wilson stumbled upon the springs, recognizing their potential value and staking the first claims to develop them. This serendipitous discovery during the construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway would transform the region's destiny. Canada's government, inspired by the success of Yellowstone National Park in the United States, made the visionary decision to create a protected reserve around the hot springs. Prime Minister John A. Macdonald's administration established Rocky Mountains Park in 1885, later renamed Banff National Park, setting aside 10 square miles for public use and enjoyment, the beginning of Canada's world-renowned national park system. The arrival of the Transcontinental Railway in 1885 connected this remote wilderness to the wider world, making Banff accessible to travelers for the first time. The Canadian Pacific Railway played a pivotal role in developing tourism infrastructure, most notably constructing the magnificent Banff Springs Hotel that opened its doors in 1888. This Scottish baronial-style castle in the mountains established a tradition of luxury alpine accommodation that continues to this day, while creating the economic foundation that would sustain the park's conservation mission. The town of Banff itself developed as Canada's first planned resort community, with its streets and buildings carefully designed to harmonize with the surrounding mountains. The community's layout, with Cascade Mountain framed perfectly at the end of Banff Avenue, demonstrates early recognition of the scenic value that would make the region world famous. Early town planners took extraordinary care to create a settlement that would enhance rather than detract from the natural grandeur that visitors came to experience. While celebrated for its natural beauty, Banff also holds complex human history that reminds us of the costs sometimes associated with conservation. The creation of the national park led to the removal of indigenous peoples who had used these lands for thousands of years, reflecting the problematic approaches of early conservation efforts. Today, Parks Canada actively works with indigenous communities including the Stoney Nakoda, Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, and Tsuut'ina nations to acknowledge this history and incorporate indigenous knowledge into park management and interpretation. Banff's iconic landscapes represent some of North America's most spectacular mountain terrain, shaped by massive geological forces and sculpted by glaciers over millions of years. The park's 2,564 square miles, 6,641 square kilometers, encompass the eastern slopes of the Canadian Rockies, featuring more than 1,000 glaciers, densely forested valleys, alpine meadows, and over 2,400 miles of rivers and streams, creating an environment of extraordinary diversity within a compact area. Lake Louise, perhaps Banff's most photographed destination, presents a scene of almost surreal beauty. This glacier-fed lake owes its stunning turquoise color to rock flour, fine particles of rock, suspended in the water that reflect light in a way that creates its signature azure hue. Surrounded by towering peaks and overlooked by the Victoria Glacier, the lake transforms throughout the seasons, impossibly blue in summer, frozen wonderland in winter, and magical mirror during the calm mornings of early autumn. The historic Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, originally built in 1890 to accommodate railway travelers, maintains the elegant architectural traditions that have become synonymous with Canada's mountain resorts. Moraine Lake, nestled in the Valley of the Ten Peaks, offers one of the most recognizable vistas in Canada, a scene so iconic it once graced the Canadian $20 bill. This glacially fed lake shares Lake Louise's otherworldly blue, but its setting amid a natural amphitheater of saw-toothed mountain peaks creates a different character entirely. The famous rock pile viewpoint provides the classic perspective where countless photographers gather to capture the perfect reflection, particularly during the golden hours around sunrise when the first light illuminates the mountain peaks with an alpenglow that transforms the entire scene. The Icefields Parkway, connecting Banff to Jasper National Park, represents one of the world's most spectacular drives. Winding 144 miles through the heart of the Canadian Rockies. This remarkable route passes more than 100 glaciers, numerous emerald lakes, and cascading waterfalls, while crossing the Continental Divide at Bow Summit. Completed in 1940, the parkway provides unprecedented access to alpine environments that would otherwise require days of demanding backcountry travel, democratizing the experience of Canada's mountain grandeur for visitors of all abilities. The Columbia Icefield, partially visible from the Icefields Parkway, represents the largest ice mass in the Rocky Mountains, covering nearly 125 square miles, 325 square kilometers, with ice up to 1,000 feet thick. Its significance extends far beyond its impressive dimensions. This ancient remnant of the last ice age serves as the hydrological apex of North America, feeding watersheds that flow to 3 different oceans: the Pacific, Atlantic, and Arctic. The gradual retreat of these glaciers in recent decades provides a visible indicator of climate change, with researchers monitoring these changes to understand broader environmental transformations affecting mountain ecosystems worldwide. Banff National Park protects a remarkable diversity of ecosystems, arranged in vertical zones determined primarily by elevation. This altitudinal variety creates distinct life zones within relatively short distances, from lush montane valleys to treeless alpine tundra, each supporting specialized communities of plants and animals adapted to specific conditions. This biological diversity, concentrated within a compact geographic area, makes Banff an extraordinary living laboratory for understanding mountain ecology. Banff National Park protects a remarkable diversity of ecosystems arranged in vertical zones determined primarily by elevation. This altitudinal variety creates distinct life zones within relatively short distances, from lush montane valleys to treeless alpine tundra, each supporting specialized communities of plants and animals adapted to specific conditions. And this biological diversity, concentrated within a compact geographic area, makes Banff an extraordinary living laboratory for understanding mountain ecology. The park's large mammal populations represent one of its most celebrated ecological features. Iconic species like grizzly bears, black bears, wolves, cougars, lynx, moose, elk, bighorn sheep, and mountain goats find refuge within its boundaries. While these charismatic animals often capture visitors' attention, they represent just a fraction of the park's fauna. Banff protects habitat for over 50 mammal species, 260 bird species, and thousands of insect species, each playing vital roles in complex ecological relationships that maintain ecosystem health. The Banff's forests exhibit distinct zones reflecting elevation, aspect, and microclimate. At lower elevations, montane forests feature Douglas fir, lodgepole pine, white spruce, and aspen. Moving higher, these give way to subalpine forests dominated by Engelmann spruce and subalpine fir, with distinctive stands of larch that provide spectacular gold color in autumn. Above approximately 7,500 feet, 2,300 meters, trees become stunted and eventually disappear at the tree line, transitioning to alpine meadows adorned with hardy wildflowers that must complete their entire life cycle during the brief mountain summer. Freshwater ecosystems represent another critical conservation component within the park. The headwaters of major river systems, including the Bow, Red Deer, and North Saskatchewan, originate from Banff's mountains, making the park's water quality important far beyond its boundaries. Aquatic habitats support native fish species like bull trout, lake trout, and mountain whitefish, though many waterways also contain non-native species introduced historically for sport fishing. Park managers work to protect these sensitive aquatic ecosystems from invasive species, pollution, and other potential impacts. The town of Banff, nestled within the national park, represents a unique experiment in balancing community development with environmental protection. As the highest town in Canada at 4,537 feet above sea level, Banff exists under strict development regulations designed to maintain ecological integrity while serving the millions of visitors who arrive each year. The town's identity as both community and visitor destination creates a distinctive mountain culture blending outdoor adventure, arts, and heritage preservation. Banff Avenue, the town's main thoroughfare, offers one of North America's most dramatic urban vistas, with Cascade Mountain framed perfectly at its northern end. This intentional design reflects early planners' understanding that the town's primary purpose was to facilitate meaningful connections with the surrounding landscape. Historic buildings like the Banff Park Museum, 1903, and the Cascade of Time Garden provide tangible links to the community's early days, while contemporary cafes, restaurants, galleries, and shops reflect its evolution into a sophisticated mountain resort. The Canadian Rockies' reputation for outdoor adventure attracts a diverse community of individuals drawn by opportunities to connect with nature through mountaineering, hiking, skiing, and other activities. This concentration of outdoor enthusiasts, from professional mountain guides to park interpreters, ski instructors to wildlife biologists, creates Banff's distinctive culture where casual conversations often revolve around recent ascents, backcountry conditions, or wildlife sightings. For many residents, the privilege of living within a national park compensates for the challenges of limited housing, strict development regulations, and seasonal tourism fluctuations. Banff National Park undergoes remarkable transformations through the seasons, each offering distinctive experiences as temperatures, precipitation patterns, daylight hours, and wildlife behavior shift with the calendar. These seasonal rhythms create a dynamic environment where familiar landscapes reveal different aspects of their character throughout the year, rewarding repeat visitors with ever-changing perspectives on the park's natural grandeur. Summer brings vibrant life to the mountains as alpine meadows erupt with wildflowers, wildlife becomes more active and visible, and longer daylight hours extend opportunities for outdoor exploration. This peak visitor season offers ideal conditions for hiking, paddling, wildlife viewing, and photography. Iconic destinations like Moraine Lake become accessible by road, and even high-elevation trails eventually emerge from winter snow. Summer visitors experience the park's full biological diversity, from valley bottoms to mountain passes, during this brief but intensely productive season. Autumn transforms the park with spectacular color as alpine larch trees turn golden, creating bands of brilliant yellow against the evergreen forest and gray limestone peaks. This relatively brief season, typically peaking in late September, attracts photographers seeking to capture the extraordinary light and color of fall in the Rockies. Wildlife activity intensifies as animals prepare for winter, with elk engaging in dramatic rutting behaviors and bears actively foraging to gain fat reserves before hibernation. The first dusting of snow on mountain peaks against clear blue skies creates classic Rocky Mountain scenes. Winter blankets Banff in snow, transforming the landscape into a pristine alpine wonderland where frozen lakes, snow-laden forests, and ice formations create an entirely different visual experience. This season showcases Banff's evolution into a world-class winter sports destination, with 3 major ski resorts offering diverse terrain for downhill enthusiasts, while Nordic centers provide meticulously groomed trails for cross-country skiing. For those seeking unique winter experiences, activities like ice climbing frozen waterfalls, snowshoeing through silent forests, and viewing spectacular ice formations in Johnston Canyon provide distinctive ways to engage with the winter landscape. Spring represents a season of dramatic transition, as warming temperatures trigger the annual cycle of renewal. Valley bottoms emerge from snow while higher elevations remain firmly in winter's grip, creating opportunities to experience multiple seasons in a single day. Wildlife becomes increasingly active, with many species giving birth during this season of abundance. Rivers and waterfalls swell with snowmelt, demonstrating the powerful hydrological processes that continue to shape the mountain landscape. Spring visitors often experience fewer crowds while witnessing the dynamic awakening of mountain ecosystems. Banff National Park offers an extraordinary range of recreational opportunities across difficulty levels, from accessible roadside viewpoints to challenging mountaineering objectives that test the skills of elite alpinists. This diversity of experiences makes the park's natural grandeur available to visitors of all abilities and interests, fulfilling the original vision of creating a mountain reserve for public benefit and enjoyment. Hiking represents the most popular and accessible way to experience Banff's landscapes, with over 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers of maintained trails, ranging from wheelchair-accessible interpretive paths to demanding backcountry routes. Iconic day hikes include the Lake Agnes Tea House Trail above Lake Louise, where a historic mountain refuge has served hikers since 1905, the Plain of Six Glaciers Trail, offering spectacular views of the massive glaciers surrounding Lake Louise, and Sunshine Meadows, where relatively easy high country hiking provides access to spectacular alpine wildflower displays during the brief mountain summer. Rock climbing and mountaineering have deep historical roots in Banff, dating back to the golden age of alpinism, when European guides first explored these peaks in the late 19th century. Today, climbing opportunities range from easily accessible sport climbing areas like back of Lake Louise to serious alpine objectives in remote areas of the park. Castle Mountain's imposing limestone walls, Mount Rundle's multi-pitch routes, and Mount Temple's classic scrambles attract climbers from around the world. These technical pursuits require specialized skills and often the assistance of certified mountain guides who continue the tradition of professional guiding established in Banff over a century ago. Winter transforms Banff into one of North America's premier skiing destinations. With 3 major resorts offering diverse terrain, Lake Louise Ski Resort provides expansive terrain across 4 mountain faces. Sunshine Village features exceptional high alpine terrain and reliable snow conditions due to its elevation, and Mount Norquay, Banff's original ski hill dating back to 1926, offers convenient access just minutes from the town site. Beyond the resorts, ski mountaineering and Nordic skiing provide opportunities to experience winter landscapes away from developed areas, though these activities require additional knowledge and preparation for safe backcountry travel. Water-based activities provide another dimension of park exploration, with experiences ranging from peaceful canoeing on Vermilion Lakes to exhilarating whitewater rafting on the Kicking Horse River. Lake Minnewanka, Banff's largest lake at 17 miles, 28 kilometers long, offers boating opportunities and serves as the park's only location for scuba diving, where adventurous divers can explore the submerged remains of Minnewanka Landing, a former resort town flooded when the lake level was raised by dam construction in 1941. As Canada's flagship national park and a renowned international destination, Banff faces significant conservation challenges balancing visitation with preservation. With over 4 million annual visitors concentrated in relatively small areas, managing human impact represents an ongoing challenge requiring innovative approaches to transportation, visitor education, and infrastructure design. Park managers continually adapt strategies to maintain ecological integrity while providing meaningful visitor experiences. Life management presents complex challenges, particularly regarding human-wildlife conflict and maintaining habitat connectivity. The successful reintroduction of plains bison in 2018 marked a significant conservation milestone, returning an ecologically and culturally important species to the ecosystem after a 140-year absence. Wildlife crossing structures spanning the Trans-Canada Highway have become world-famous examples of effective mitigation, reducing wildlife vehicle collisions by over 80% and providing safe passage for approximately 11 large mammal species. These overpasses and underpasses, combined with fencing, represent one of the world's most successful habitat connectivity projects. Climate change poses perhaps the most profound long-term threat to Banff's ecosystems, with visible impacts already evident in glacial retreat, changing fire regimes, shifting tree lines, and alterations in wildlife behavior and plant phenology. The Columbia icefield, which feeds numerous park watersheds, has lost significant volume, affecting downstream water availability and temperature. These changes ripple through the ecosystem, creating both challenges and opportunities for different species. Park researchers monitor these transformations closely, using Banff as an important reference site for understanding climate impacts on mountain environments worldwide. As the alpenglow illuminates Banff's magnificent peaks with the day's final light, we conclude our journey through this extraordinary mountain sanctuary that has inspired wonder for generations. From the steaming thermal waters that first attracted protection to the glaciers that continue shaping these valleys. From accessible roadside viewpoints to challenging alpine summits, Banff National Park offers experiences that connect visitors to something greater than themselves, providing both adventure and contemplation in a setting of unparalleled natural grandeur. What makes Banff extraordinary extends beyond its physical beauty to encompass the human vision that ensured its protection. As Canada's original national park, Banff represents a pioneering commitment to the idea that certain landscapes deserve preservation for their intrinsic value and for the benefit of all people. While conservation approaches have evolved significantly since 1885, this fundamental dedication to stewardship continues shaping how we interact with these mountains today. Whether drawn by recreational opportunities, scientific interest, artistic inspiration, or simply the restorative power of wild places, visitors discover that Banff offers far more than spectacular scenery. We hope this virtual journey has transported you to the heart of the Canadian Rockies and inspired a deeper appreciation for this remarkable landscape where conservation, recreation, and inspiration have coexisted for over a century. Until we meet again on another virtual journey, farewell from beautiful Banff National Park, the crown jewel of the Canadian Rockies.